These establishment rhino Republicans have been plotting their revenge on President Trump. 2019 is the year that we're going to see them show their fangs and their claws again. During the 2016 presidential campaign season, we saw Fox News, all these establishment Republicans come out against Trump.
The RNC told us we have all donors in the audience, and the reason they're not loving me is I don't want their money. I'm going to do the right thing for the American public. I don't want their money. I don't need their money, and I'm the only one up here that can say that.
They were all endorsing Jeb Bush and many of these other establishment Republicans and attacking Trump, the Patriots, and the conservative grassroots movements. In fact, if you recall, there was a time when the GOP was debating whether or not they were going to even hand over the nomination to President Trump, despite the fact that he won it fair and clear. Even though the Republicans hold the Senate, many of these Republicans are rhino globalist establishment Republicans, including Mitt Romney, who decided to come out and bash President Trump. We all know that Mitt Romney's just sore because he lost the 2012 election against President Barack Hussein Obama, despite how upset Americans were with Obama. Although once Donald Trump became President Donald Trump, Fox News sided with him on many issues and backed him through many of their pundits. Many of these establishment Republicans kind of took a step back. They kind of got quiet. They stopped criticizing Trump as much because they knew that it wasn't popular amongst the populist vote of Republicans. But don't forget where they were prior to Trump winning the presidency.
Early Wednesday, Fox canceled a taped Trump appearance on The O'Reilly Factor, prompting Trump to tweet he was banning Fox for the foreseeable future.
And how likely it could be that we could see them turn on him in an instant. After all, these are big networks. And who owns these big networks? The establishment, the globalists. So we have to remember that although they may be allowing Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, Sean Hannity, these pundits to speak their voice and to back Trump for the most part, could it be that they're just allowing them to do that so that they can essentially pull in this grassroots conservative movement that we've seen that has fueled the MAGA movement, so that then that grassroots conservative movement can be brought back into establishment media so that establishment media has a say at the end of the day as to how they feel politically. And while we've seen many of these establishment conservatives, many of which are never Trumpers and were actually vehemently against Trump during the 2016 presidential campaign, we're seeing them rise to the top. All the while, we're seeing the grassroots conservatives be systematically banned from social media platforms and essentially disappeared altogether off the internet. Alex Jones has been unpersoned, Milo Yiannopoulos, Roger Stone, Laura Loomer, Gavin McInnes, and many, many more. These were voices that were pivotal in the MAGA movement's rise to success and for the Trump presidency to have actually been won. These voices also played a huge role in Brexit as well. So it's no coincidence that we're seeing many of these conservative grassroots voices be silenced all across social media. It's essentially a sleight of hand. You push in the establishment-controlled Republicans who appear to be sheep-dipped in this conservative alternative internet movement. All the while, the original conservative grassroots people are slowly but surely being picked off and shoved off into the unpersoned basket. Here's an example. Michael Savage, the radio host, supported Trump throughout his 2016 presidential campaign, and it greatly helped President Trump. Now we're seeing Michael Savage have his show yanked out from under him, and guess who it's being given to? Ben Shapiro, who happens to be a never-Trumper. We also saw CRTV rise in popularity after Trump became president, in which they cherry-picked many conservative voices and put them on their platform. Well, now we're seeing that CRTV's founder, Mark Levin, who, just to let you know, was a never-Trumper prior to Trump winning, has joined with Blaze TV, which we know is owned by Glenn Beck.
Glenn Beck, founder of The Blaze. Glenn, thanks for joining us this morning. Now, you're part of this Never Trump camp.
Donald Trump is a dangerous man with the things that he has been saying.
So now it's no coincidence that CRTV kicks off Gavin McInnes off their network and Michelle Malkin. There are many examples. The conservative movement is under attack. It has taken some heavy hits following Trump winning the 2016 presidential campaign. The globalists are hell-bent on winning back their power and control over the American people. Social media allowed people to wake up. They allowed InfoWars and many of these conservative grassroots pundits to speak their mind on social media and wake up people by the millions, essentially influencing the vote and the outcome of a presidential election. That's what they're so worried about. These globalists are not worried about Russian bots or Russian meddling. They're worried about American citizens like you waking up and sharing content, truthful information on social media. That's what they're terrified of. And that's why they've been disappearing conservatives. And that's why we're seeing this push of establishment Republicans coming in to fill our shoes so that you won't notice the switch. You won't notice because you'll still have these people saying things that you believe and you agree with, because at the flip of a switch, many of these establishment Republicans will turn on Trump, the American people, and the MAGA movement. Remember who is loyal to the cause prior to Trump winning the presidency, and support those people. Remember, you are the resistance.